on behalf of the Institute for Leadership and Strategic Foresight. Welcome to So You Want to Be the Chief, a podcast for leaders.
I am so blessed and honored to have I call him a friend because we connected, I don't know how long ago,
Oh,
Satch, but
wow.
we can't even remember when we connected physically, but we've been friends online for many years.
Yeah.
And he is Chief Master Sergeant retired David Satchell, goes by Satch. I think that's what we used to call you, and I think that's what we still call you. A great chief. But welcome to the show, first of all, Chief. And listen, a little bit of background. You served like a couple of years, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 30 years. I'm finishing up at the Pentagon, working for the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force and Chief of Staff, General Golfing. So that was a remarkable time in my
I bet.
career.
I bet. Now, what's your background? What did you do on active duty all those years?
Started out as a dental tech, and then I learned that I wanted to shift away from that. I wanted a better impact that I thought I could have on the service. And so I cross-trained into the command post career field, which was incredible change. And then I didn't spend that much time because I got promoted fairly quickly after that time period. And so then I was in the leadership tracks, group superintendent, command chief, and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah. A fast burner, is that what we used to call that?
Yeah, but I don't know that I was. I mean, I had a few slip ups early in my career,
Okay.
but that's for another time. Uh, but yeah, once I got that in my rearview mirror,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, it's moving fairly quickly.
Okay. Now, and how long were you a chief? Could you remember?
I want to say about 13 years.
13. Okay.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
and the reason I wanted to have you on, and I had to have you on the show, Chief, because, well, I'll let you know at the end for one thing. But you posted a thought on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if it went on other social media about leasing your stripes. That I thought, wow, that is powerful.
Mhm.
And so I said, man, I got to talk to Satch so he can share his thinking on this,
Mhm.
because I think what I sensed in that in those thoughts, Satch, was your pride in
Mhm.
having not only done but been a
Mhm.
chief. And I'm not sure that, but I think everybody's proud of it. But
Mhm.
some of us are more proud to the point that it becomes our identity, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, I use the I word because a couple of years ago, we were I don't know, talking about identity and something like that. And I told you I was writing a book. It's coming out by the end of the year called Finding Me. And I
Mhm.
asked you if you would write the foreword, and you said yes. I have it in writing. I have it
Mhm.
in writing. Okay, so you said yes. So I'm going to hold you to that as soon as it's finished up. But that's an important thing, and I don't know that I sense, and based on our discussion, a lot of people are looking to discover, and I think that's what you do. And really, you rediscover your identity. Who
Oh
am
yeah.
I? And that's where I think that the story that you wrote was
Mhm.
so powerful. And so you leased the stripes. That's how you put it.
Yeah.
You've grown into that thought though a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, that idea, that thought and concept has kind of grown on me. It started with borrowing the stripes, and I'll tell you, if I go back a little while, there was a tech sergeant that became a master sergeant, and I remember a his supervisor handed his old stripes to that new master sergeant, and he says, "Hey, these are for you." And they kind of connect to the experiences that I've had in my past. And that's where the idea of borrowing the stripes came from. And so, in the context of being a chief, I always thought I am borrowing these stripes. And if I think back to the Aries and the Gaylors and yourself and many chiefs that have preceded me, I believe that I was borrowing the stripes that they wore and the honor that they bestowed on them. And I wanted to, establish that same level of honor and integrity that those stripes mean to me and give it to the people that follow me. And so, yeah, that word lease has come from the idea of borrowing and giving it back in great shape.
Yeah. And in that piece that you wrote, Satch, my sense or my recollection is that you were kind of trying to be someone else. You were trying to emulate all of those guys, and no one can emulate Airy or Gaylor. Those guys were one of a kind. All of the chiefs were those big chiefs were the one of a kind. But but there's nothing wrong with trying to be like them. What's hard, and that's where our thoughts on identity will gel eventually here in the next few months, is that you have your own.
That's
Because
right.
I just had Cody Bailey, Chief Master Sergeant retired Cody Bailey is a good friend of mine. Now we're finishing up a book that he just wrote called Letters to Airmen. So go get it. It's a great book. I'll get him to get you a copy.
Please
But
do.
we've become good friends. And the other day he said, Chief, I want to be just like you. I said, no, 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 Cody, you do not want to be just like me.
Yeah.
You want to take what I can give you. I call it air power. I'm going to give you what I have and be you, man, because you have your own identity and your own power, your own strength, and do that. And again, reading that paper that thought that you had, Satch, seems like you were trying to be someone else until and this always works, man. The wife will tell you the truth. And that's Liliana, who happens to be from Bogota, I think, right?
That's right. She is.
I
That's
have
right.
some Bogota stories and Colombia stories. But anyway, as you wrote, and I quote this, you get to wear those stripes because of who you are.
Right. Yeah.
Identity. Maybe we'll have her do something on the book as well. But who you are. So you eventually became who you are. And now, whoever you are and what you do, of course, that's how we measure, right? How we do things. You can pass that on as an heir to, well, I hope a lot of people right now listening and watching this podcast.
Yeah. If I were to paraphrase this, Bob, it would be, and this is grammatically incorrect, but it's about who you be and not the things that you do. And I was exchanging those two, the things that I saw people do and not who I be. And so my wife, I call the 4'9" giant, called me on that. It's like, this is not who you be or who you are. And where is that person? Because that's what brought you to this point. And so, if we were to develop this discussion on our identity, I had to then take back my identity and be settled on who I am because that's what was making me a success in the military and being an influence to the people that followed me.
Now, some of us are lucky, such in that we had mentors and still have mentors who guide us toward that, toward being ourselves, whoever that may be. I do that with Cody often, but there are some people who expect us to be them. I have this discussion with people in business to begin with that a lot of quote leaders don't hire people that they want to help, empower, and all that kind of stuff. They hire people who are them. You're like me, man.
Yeah,
So I'm going to hire you. Well, and I think it was Patton who said, if two of us are thinking the same thing, we don't need one of us.
that's right. No doubt.
So I think there's value and power, especially with if you're a new leader, let them be them. Figure out how they fit in and how the picture is built around them, but let them be them.
Yeah. When you slip into imposter syndrome, there is this level of shame and in my studies talk about unnecessary self-consciousness, meaning you start to pick at yourself the things that are not, you believe are not that good. And you also are, covering up a bit of shame. And so you walk around every single day being someone that you're absolutely not. And that's exhausting. And so I teach leaders about, who is that person that looks in the mirror, not what they do, but who they be. And once they start to label those qualities and traits of who they be, that changes the game for them. And now they can use those as tools to be an influential leader in the United States Air Force and beyond.
Yeah. Do you find, and you do consulting work, right?
I do.
with leaders and all that kind of stuff. What CORE, I think, is the name of the company.
Right.
Is that an acronym for something?
It's not, and it is exactly as is, leading from inside of you.
Okay.
And that was very intentional. So, core leadership consulting. I do a lot of leadership development, consulting, coaching, a lot of coaching, and just to help people draw from what's inside of them and use those skills and traits to motivate and inspire and direct and create vision.
Yeah. Now,
Mhm.
yeah, but I don't know that you know, but I'm a musician by trade, by training, and all that stuff. And
I
uh,
seen you in action, by the way.
not much anymore, man. uh, you'll understand in about 20 years, okay? But anyway, I keep thinking I can't do the things I used to do the way I used to do them, and that really sucks. But
Mhm.
anyway, as a musician, and especially nowadays, Satch, everybody wants to be a star. They want to go
Mhm.
on AGT and be a star, in 6 weeks or however long that program lasts, and don't realize that all of the overnight sensations, all of
Yeah.
the overnight stars that I ever knew, especially musicians, took about 20 years to
Mhm.
be an overnight star.
Mhm.
And it took a lot of work. What is it? The power of 10,000 hours and all that kind of stuff. And one of my phrases has always been, if you can see it, you can be it, but you got
Mhm.
to do the work. You
Yeah.
can't just dream it up and all of a sudden you're it. People want to know, how are you so ruggedly handsome? I'm
Mhm.
not gonna tell you, man, because you can't handle it.
Right. Right. That's awesome. You
But
know,
I think my sense, so my question for you, especially what you're doing now, are people willing to do the work to find their identity, to really know who they are? Because it's easy to copy. I mean, nowadays it's real easy. You can go on social media and watch somebody be somebody that they're not, and if you're smart enough, you can figure that out.
yeah, some people have been doing it for so long that they don't realize that they're doing it any longer. And it
Mm.
becomes their new default setting until they have a person like my 4'9" giant that just says, "What the heck are you doing?" And then now it's exposed for you. There's an old quote by Carl Jung that says, "Until you make what's unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And he's saying that you will go into default mode because you don't recognize what you're doing. And so your identity is be able to label those things that are driving your behavior, your belief system, your convictions, your values, what's motivating you. Once you start to label those things, then it brings them to life. They enter your consciousness. And now you can go, okay, I can adjust myself based off of me now understanding me with some more depth. And that is who we be. Otherwise, it's what we do. They just say, go do this thing, and voila, you're a leader. But there's still these things that are hiding below in our subconscious that are driving us. And I'm telling you, it took a long time for me to figure that out. Thank God for my wife.
Yeah,
She was able to call me on that when no one else had.
yeah,
And maybe I was hiding it from everyone, Bob. But I think because she knew me so well, she was like, no, you can't hide that from me. And I'm glad she did because that really changed everything for me and it set me off on a different trajectory.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But it's easy to fall into that. I'll call it a trap,
Mhm.
because and I say this more and more because I'm learning it and discovering it more and more. We become our parents,
Mhm.
or whoever brought us up. Maybe it was other people, but in leaders, especially like in the Air Force that we both served 30 years in, we emulate Bob Gaylor, we emulate the Chief
Mhm.
Harry to some degree,
Mhm.
and both of those guys. Sat me down, literally sat me down and said, "Don't be me,
Mhm.
go be you, and it's okay." And they kind of guided me. And once in a while, especially Ari, I
Mhm.
loved Ari. He was funny almost. he had some expletives that, like, what? They weren't bad words. That made you feel bad though, when you wanted to. So,
Yeah.
but and and often I tell people, find those role models and do the things that they do. But if we're smart, we don't do them to the point that we try to be them. And
Yeah.
then, and some people that I talk to, Satch, are confused because they don't know why they do it. They know that so and so, Chief Satchell used to do it, so I do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so why did he do it? I don't know. Probably not the
That's
same
right.
reason.
It's,
With different life, different experiences, different thoughts. But that's the way he did it, so that's the way I do it, and he was successful.
yeah.
So it's easy, I think, in some respects. That's what my question I think is important. Are you willing to do the work to be who you really, no kidding,
Yeah.
are? Because and I'm convinced, like I say, you discover that and possibly rediscover it because it's been in you all along.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
you know,
You
it's
know,
it's
when
like
you
I'm
said if you're
convinced you're
willing
gonna be
to,
a pro golfer. I can tell, man. I know that.
I don't know, but I'm gonna try, I'm gonna give it a try. But this is a real important point. When you say do the work, that it kind of alludes to it being hard, right? And when you can look at what you use the words parents, the people that are around you that have done the work and are showing their best selves, you kind of look at them as a map. And so if I just get on their map, then this is the easiest way to it. And like you with Arian Gaylor, I had the Khalith Wrights, the Manny Paneros, the Todd Simmons, the Jay Francis that are around me, and you're going, oh wow, this is what I need to look and sound like to be, the leader that I need to be. And that is it's so wrong, right? Until I was to able to do the work and really identify what making this guy tick. Oh man, that really changed everything. So yeah, it's harder. It's the harder road, but it's the right thing to do and the right way to bring justice to those stripes.
Yeah. And there's, I think, a good feeling when you get there, Satch, that this is really me.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
I have I hope he's still around. I haven't been able to reach him lately, but one of my old mentors, I can't, Dr. Boyd, I can't remember his first name,
Mm.
an older person when I was getting my master's degrees, and he said, it's a great place to be when you don't give a shit anymore.
Mm.
Excuse the expletives there, but that's the way he said it. And I thought, okay. And that was, he was like 20 years older than me. But
Yeah.
now that I'm there, there's a lot of things I don't care about anymore
Mhm.
that used to bug the crap out of me. I mean, I used to lose sleep over, and particularly when leading people, oh, they don't like me.
Mhm.
Okay. So what?
Mhm.
Are you doing what you should do? Are you being effective and all of those things? Then don't worry about being liked, But that's tough. That's tough. And
Yeah, and we as humans, we want people to like us, and it really takes a level of leadership maturity to say it's okay if they don't. And so you being able to watch these leaders still coming up through the force, they're still going through that, I guess we call it leadership puberty, where they're still trying to discover if if it's okay to not be liked, right? And now there's some that jump right out there and that that really don't care. Mel Robbins, one of the leading voices that are out there today, she talks about let them, which is based off of the let them theory. And, how do I just allow people to be who they are, to think the way they do, as long as I take my power back and do the things that are best for me and, who I influence. And so, yeah, that still exists today. It's just you're able to watch people go through that level of maturity. And it took me a long time to get through that puberty, right? And I imagine that some people go through it quickly, but majority of us, slog through that maturity stage.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And again, it's just overpowering, overpoweringly
Mhm.
powerful when you get there. You can't explain that. You
Mhm.
just got to know when, oh, I got
That's
it.
right.
Now I got it. It's like having your kids. You don't know what it's like till you have them.
Mhm.
Hopefully it's a good thing, but you never know. Now,
Mhm.
do you, in the business sector, Satch, do you work with organizations or what kind of work are you doing lately?
Yeah, so both in the corporate world, the public space, meaning, mayors, departments, and so forth. I do some contract work with Global Strike Command with their frontline leadership program. Oh, well, every level now. I just came back from their commander's course at Barksdale. I just did that last week, and that's their first time commanders and being able to really talk about who you be with them because they come in and they're technical experts in what, and that's the reason they're there in the first place. Now I want them to change the way they think. And that is, you remember the book, What Got You There Won't Take You, What Got You Here Won't Take You There. And that means the tools that brought you to this point are probably not, they're useless in what you need to do in the future. So that's a great part of being there. So yeah, almost every area I'm doing some kind of a work, and it's really exciting. The most exciting part of it is being able to learn something new about the corporate space and because I kind of understand the military space when it comes to leadership, but the corporate space is a little different, but still the same messiness that I've experienced through my service.
Yeah. Yeah. And my sense is people are people. Doesn't matter where they are.
That's right. That's right.
It's like I spoke to some Space Force chiefs, senior enlisted folks not long ago. And just before I started to speak, I was listening to their conversations, and they were discussing the same things we discussed 25 years ago. Only in a different context, but it's the same stuff. And I'm thinking, we still haven't figured this out. Which the answer when you're talking about humans, no, because you never do. Yeah,
that's right.
You never do. So, and now you are a golfer. How's your game? Are you? I think I sent you a note about playing in the Masters, and you said, "Oh, I'm not that caliber."
Not ready.
If you can see it, you can be it. Satch, trust me.
1,000%. If I could spend that amount of time that it takes to practice and do that kind of work, then yeah, we always have the ability to do it. You just got to do the work, as you said. And but no, I'm balancing a whole bunch of things right now. And though, and golf is one of them. Matter of fact, on my calendar, I block time off to play golf. And it's because it's part of who I want to be in my retirement.
Yeah.
I'm writing books. I got two that are done that are unpublished that I'm really excited about. But yeah, I play a lot of golf as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, yeah. And the worst thing about man, and I hope you know that I love you, but the Eagles are not a good team, man.
Oh my goodness. So, you know what? When you do something like this, you bring me on here and then you bring the Eagles on. So as you can see, I got my Eagles
Yeah,
helmet right there signed by
yeah.
the player. And so yeah, the Eagles are a big deal. Season's coming up in the next few weeks. I believe you're a Cowboy fan, isn't that correct?
Well, kind of.
Yeah,
Can
so
you see the
I mean,
the
I
chair?
see, I see.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I'm doing this out of charity for you then, if
Thank
that's
you. Well, I appreciate it. Well, and I'll tell you what, man, and I'm not really a fan. I'm a Cowboys fan because my brother, he was ate up with them, and he passed away about 9 years ago now.
Mhm.
And he on his deathbed, literally, he said, "Will you be a fan for me?"
Mhm.
Okay, so I still live up to that. Although, and the Cowboys are coming to the Broncos in September, October, or something, and I got tickets.
Oh
So
wow.
now I was a fan of Luis Vasquez when he was playing with the Cowboys. I mean the Broncos. So I've got his jersey and I've got Rick's ball cap, Cowboys ball cap. So I'm
Wow.
going to go represent both of them. I hope I don't get killed or anything, by
No,
either
you're
team.
okay. But if you came to Philly, that you would have to then discuss
Yes, yes,
that.
yes. Well,
Yeah.
brother, thank you so much for being on the show, man. I know you're a busy man. I wish the best for you. I'll be as soon as I finish writing the Finding Me, I will connect with you and we'll get working on the
Yeah, I took a
publishing
note
it.
right here. As soon as you said it, to remember to do that, and I'll be
Yeah.
ready for that.
Okay.
I'm excited about that. And if any way I can support you, another chief, another brother, and another friend, thank you so much for having me here. And we'll be talking soon.
All right.
And maybe I'll message you when I'm in Colorado Springs. I just don't know where you'll be. But if you're there, then maybe
Yep.
we'll
I'm
do.
everywhere, man. So if you got a few minutes to have a coffee or some lunch or something, let me know. But I know your priority is not that. You're here for one of your peeps. That's great. Congratulations to the colonel. He is he a grad by chance? An academy grad?
He's not. Matter of fact, he came up from California, became a senior airman, and he was focused way then. found himself into a dental program. Now he's navigated the ranks, and so I'm excited about that. And I couldn't miss that, so I'm taking some time so I could be with
Yeah.
him.
Well,
Mhm.
and let me tell you a quick story because my mantra is air power, HEIR power. You remember the movie? Oh gosh,
Moody,
Rudy,
Rudy, yes,
football
yes,
player. You
yes.
remember that?
Hmm, hmm,
Uh, at the end of the movie, in the scene where he gets taken off the field on people's shoulders on the other
hmm,
team, and all that stuff, there's like a 3 second, 5 second spot where oh Dutton is the actor's name. His name was Fortune, the janitor, in the movie, and he's standing there at the tunnel going, "That's my boy.
hmm,
That's air power.
hmm,
That's air power." When somebody does this, your colonel, your brother, your friend, when they put those little birds on him, you're gonna feel that like that's my guy. And there's
yeah,
nothing like it. There's nothing like it, other than maybe having your kids, but
yeah,
that comes close. So, safe journey. It's gonna be in the 70s. You're welcome.
yeah. I need that. It's almost 100 here, so
Oh my gosh. Oh, now I'm sweaty. God bless you,
you
my brother. We'll talk again soon.
as well. We'll talk soon. Bye bye.